For 99% of people, this Osmo Pocket 3 may just be the only camera you will ever need. When you evaluate all of the variables such as size, price, image quality, and ease of use, this made me reconsider everything I thought I knew about cameras. When the Pocket 3 first came out, I spent 2 months refreshing Best Buy's website every day hoping to pick one up myself. And even now, 6 months after its release, it's still on back order in most places, at least up here in Canada. That should really tell you a lot about how good this device is. The Pocket series of cameras have always had a unique design, unlike really anything else out on the market thanks to the built-in gimbal. And with this third iteration here, they have ironed out most of the quirks that plagued them before. While initially the camera appears to be fragile, it's actually surprisingly more robust than I had expected. I personally have dropped mine 3 times now onto hardwood floors from about waist height, and each time it's survived without a scratch. The bigger rotating screen makes it a lot easier for you to monitor your shot, and with the built-in speakers, you'll have no problem reviewing your footage on the Pocket itself. Also, just have a listen to how satisfying the screen rotating mechanism is. That's so good. Looking around the device, you'll find the USB-C slot, which you can use both for fast charging and transferring files from the Pocket 3. You have a micro SD card slot, and you will also notice the 3 built-in microphones. In terms of buttons, you're only working with 2 external buttons here. However, I found ways to maximize the use out of those 2 buttons, which I will show you later on in the video. Overall, the main perks of this design is the size and small form factor. It pretty much allows you to bring the Pocket 3 anywhere with you and to film videos without really attracting too much attention to yourself. You'll really appreciate this a lot if you're kind of shy filming in public like me. However, no design is perfect, and I do have a few gripes with the Pocket 3 that I hope DJI fixes in the next generation. The lack of a quarter 20 thread on the Pocket 3 itself makes it quite annoying to carry around the extended battery handle or the extended attachment anytime you want to mount it to anything. When I was initially unboxing mine and tried to thread the provided lanyard through the hole, I found it nearly impossible, and by the time I finally got it through, the whole fabric of the lanyard was essentially stripped back. I do wish DJI would have given us the ability for the gimbal to rotate into vertical shooting mode. However, unlike a drone, you can simply flip the camera 90 degrees and shoot full vertical 4K at 20mm with no issues at all. DJI could have also spent a little bit more time designing the hardshell case, as in its current state I don't think it's that useful. Yes, it protects the screen and gimbal, but the gimbal can still rotate inside and face out, so it's not really the best case, but it works. And since the Pocket 3 is not waterproof, I have no idea why DJI just didn't include removable batteries. Now, of course, these are all nitpicks and none of it is really that much of an issue. Definitely no deal breakers with my gripes in the design. Now let's get to the fun part. The gimbal stabilized 8 megapixel 1-inch sensor is the secret sauce that allows this camera to punch way above its weight class. For videos, you can shoot all the way up to 4K 120 and 3K if you're shooting in vertical mode. And with all the frame rates and resolutions, you retain the same field of view, which is quite useful. To access the 4K 120, you do have to go into the slow motion shooting mode, where you will also find 1080p at 240 frames per second. One interesting thing I've noticed is that when you're shooting in vertical mode, you're not simply grabbing a 9x16 crop from the wide shot. You're actually getting more information both on the top and bottom of the frame. Unfortunately for photos, we are only working with 8 megapixel resolution, which isn't the sharpest. However, every other aspect of the photo is legit. And if you don't plan on doing any heavy cropping with your photos, these photos are perfectly fine for social media purposes and YouTube thumbnails. The autofocus is good and reliable for the most part, and you do get some decent background separation, given the fact that we are working with a f2.0 lens and a 1-inch sensor. There are a bunch of different shooting modes like photo, video, slow motion, low light, panorama, and time-lapse modes. And the panorama feature on the Pocket 3 is honestly underrated simply because of how quick it can capture the shot for you. You no longer have to fiddle like you do with your phone trying to keep the horizon straight, slowly panning left and right. You just set the camera down and in less than 5 seconds it gets you a beautiful 180-degree panorama shot. You do also have manual controls for the camera if you wish to manually set your shutter speed or ISO, and white balance as well. And we have 3 different color profiles: standard, HLG, and D-Log. D-Log of course is useful for those people who want to get more information out of their shots, but you do have to edit it. And I mostly shoot everything in the standard color profile because it appears to be quite natural with not a lot of over-processing going on. I also rarely find myself using the wide angle adapter because it smudges very easily, it's difficult to keep clean, and it introduces quite a bit of distortion into your shot. The overall image quality is fantastic and it's significantly better than even the best phones out on the market today. Your footage is not crippled with overprocessing, and you have the ability to adjust the sharpness and noise reduction on the Pocket 3 itself. And where you will notice this gap in quality over your phone the most is when you're shooting in low light situations. Because you have the gimbal, your camera is able to bring the shutter speed a lot lower than it normally would on your phone. And I'd honestly not recommend you use the low light mode unless you're in near pitch darkness with 0 light sources. The Pocket 3 can also double up as a webcam if you plug it into your laptop via USB-C cable, or you can use it to live stream as well. The gimbal is very good at dampening out most movements that it detects, and even handheld walking shots are handled very well. You have 3 different speed settings for the gimbal sensitivity, as well as 3 different follow modes that the gimbal can operate in. Regular follow will follow your movements up and down, left and right. Pan follow, which will only follow your shot left and right but won't really change the horizon. And you have the full FPV follow mode, which will pretty much react to any move you put in with all of its axes. You can also always lock the gimbal in place by just pressing and holding on the joystick. Now let me quickly show you how to maximize the use out of those 2 buttons that we have externally. You want to start off by swiping down from the top and turning on the face tracking and selfie mode. Then you want to triple tap to turn the camera around and it will start tracking your face. You do have the ability to reposition yourself within the frame while the gimbal is tracking you by just using the joystick. You can always 1 tap on the joystick to get it to stop tracking if you're trying to fit more people into the shot. To reactivate the tracking, you can double tap on the joystick. It'll recenter the gimbal, and every time it recenters, it will lock onto your face again. We do have the ability to connect the Pocket 3 to the DJI Mimo app, and within the app you will find all the necessary settings and features you find on the Pocket itself, which is always useful if you want to film with a bigger screen. There is one accessory that I purchased that has proven to be infinitely useful to me in the way I operate the Pocket 3, and that's the Sunny Life magnetic mount. This thing essentially acts as a 3-in-1 for me, kind of like a pop socket when in the hand. You can wedge the magnetic part between your pinky and ring finger for a better grip, a lot safer in my opinion. The magnetic mount obviously mounts to anything metal, and the base can also double up as a tripod replacement. Now let's talk about the audio. The 3 built-in mics on the Pocket itself do sound good, and I feel like most people will have no issue just using that audio as their main audio. However, if you do wish to step your audio game up, go for the Creator Combo to get this DJI Mic 2. I love the new redesign on the DJI Mic 2. You just need a little piece of black electrical tape to cover up that bright DJI logo. And they now even sell a white version as well, which I think would be perfect for wedding videographers. My favorite part is the new redesign of the windscreen, which now just simply plugs into the 3.5mm headphone jack, which is a lot more secure and less likely to break. The magnet now is also a lot stronger, and the DJI Mic 2 can now actually connect to your phone via Bluetooth, or any Bluetooth device for that matter, although the quality is not as good as when it's connected to the Pocket itself. The biggest feature they added into the mic this time around is the ability to record 32-bit float audio internally. And if you don't know what 32-bit is, it's kind of like a raw file for audio where if you accidentally miss some quiet sounds or something's really loud, you have the ability to use that file to adjust the levels and pretty much recover any lost audio. But it does only record internally onto the Pocket. I have noticed a tiny little quirk with the backup recording. If you're using the mic on its own to record some audio without the Pocket being turned on, and then you turn on the Pocket and film a shot, the second you cut that first shot, the audio recording on the mic will cut off as well. I'm not sure if this is a glitch or if this is by design, but this has caused me to lose some audio in the past, so just be careful. Now this is the part of the equation that takes the Pocket 3 above every other camera on the market today, for me at least. While at first glance it appears more expensive than its predecessor, the amount of improvements they've made across the board make it well worth the price increase. I promise you this video is not sponsored by DJI. You can just check my last video on the DJI FPV as to why that is. DJI will never sponsor me, so if you are enjoying this video, a like and sub would be appreciated. I generally can't think of another system out there where you're getting this much value for under $700 US. You're getting a gimbal stabilized 1-inch sensor that can record really high quality video and audio if you get the creator combo with the DJI mic. In the 4 months that I've been using it, I've honestly come to the conclusion that this may very well be DJI's best product ever. Seriously. The target consumer range for this device is broad. This is a perfect camera for people who just want to get high quality videos as easily as possible. So if you're someone who's just trying to shoot some family memories, this thing is perfect for you. If you're a content creator who's just starting out producing online videos, this thing is good for you. Or even if you're a seasoned professional who's trying to travel with a lighter setup without really compromising too much on the quality side, this is for you. When I start to think about who this camera is not for, it's a very small percentage of people, and that would be people strictly looking to do photography and photography only. However, in 2024, I'm not really sure how many people there are out there that fit that description. Almost everybody, even strict photographers, have started producing some sort of videos for online content. And no camera makes filming videos more fun than this camera. Go ahead and get it, you won't regret it. Thank you, that's all for today. Till next time.